Welcome back. It's another edition of From the Finishing Room, and today is very, very different. You know Wise Caldwell Distillers because of incredible finished bourbon from really good Irish whiskey, but we're gonna go a little different today. And it's a world that I'm not a super expert in. And so I'm very excited for today because you're gonna tell me why JFC Tequilla, Anejo, and Extra Anejo, what sets these apart from like every other high school tequila that I slammed way back when, right? These are not your typical high school party slamming tequilas.
They are not.
This is incredible. These are finished tequilas.
I would consider them finished.
So let's talk about it. Let's start with Anejo.
Right. So the Anejo expression here, Anejo within the tequila timeline is 12 months. This particular Anejo is 26 months aged.
Is there a window where it is Anejo versus Extra Anejo? Like at what point does the cutoff become Extra Anejo?
36 months. So 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So 26 months is quite a bit more age on it. The beautiful thing about the 26 months is that we send Ramiro's barrels down to Mexico. And Ramiro being the only Mexican master cooper ever, it makes sense that we have a little homage to tequila here.
So John Caldwell and Ramiro Herrera, the master cooper, found a distiller of tequila in Mexico that they liked.
Yeah, Ramiro's friend. So it's actually made at Selecto in Jalisco.
Okay.
Went down, tasted the Blanco, found some barrels that they like, found some Blanco that they like, put together a barrel program to send down to Mexico, whether it was neutral oak, new French oak, new American oak, Cabernet Sauvignon neutral, sent it down there, and then aged it for that long on those barrels. So you're dealing with 26 months on the Anejo, you're dealing with 38 months on the Extra Anejo. Wow. And then another beautiful piece of this program was Mark Gagnon, who is the winemaker at Caldwell Vineyard, flew down to Mexico and blended these tequilas. Oh. So he was the one that was actually in charge of, so these are standard 80 proof tequilas. Like, I like a little bit higher, especially on Blancos, just to see what the distillate is like.
But a lot of sipping tequilas are in that 80 proof range.
That's really where tequila lives.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, depending on how involved you are, that's pretty much where tequila lives.
Right.
Mark went down there and blended these, so you get all of the sides of Caldwell here, really. Obviously, I'm here repping these things. John and Ramiro came up with the idea. Ramiro had the relationship, sent Ramiro's barrels down. Mark went and finished everything off by blending these beautiful expressions right here.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. I'm not normally a big tequila guy. I remember my senior in high school finishing off a fifth of tequila with a friend. It didn't end well. And that sort of left me away from tequila for quite some time. As I've come back into the later parts of my life, I have learned to appreciate a very fine sipping tequila. This is something that at the end of the day, I can pour and just sit back. It's really good on the nose, which I really appreciate. This is the Anejo. You can see the Anejo right here. Typically, a Blanco tequila is not gonna have this coloring. We know that, right? So you take all the expertise of a master cooper and a legendary winemaker and a legend like John Caldwell, all those guys together to create something that is what I don't expect. I don't expect a tequila to come from them. And yet here it is, this Anejo. And it's really, really nice. The 80 proof is approachable. It's good on the nose. It doesn't smell like a high school party, which is what typical tequila smells like to me. It's so smooth. It is truly a sipping tequila. Absolutely phenomenal. So when we jump into the Extra Anejo, which to me, if you say it's extra barbecue or it's extra ice cream or it's extra anything, I think, well, that's, of course, I want extra. I can see the extra aging. I can see how dark and beautiful this is. am I really going to get the taste of this versus this because of that extra color?
Yeah, I think you will. I think the biggest piece of this is that this is going to have more of the medium long French oak finish in it. So it's going to be smooth around the edges. It's going to be unlike any other tequila you've ever had. So when Mark was putting these blends together, I'm not sure if this was his mentality really. I mean, I talked to him a lot, but how this came out on the extra Anejo, like this is a truly refined product right here. This is unlike anything that anyone's ever had. Whereas this is like a beautiful, beautiful Anejo that is recognizable. The depth of flavor here from the medium long French is, you know, it's medium long.
It's
French.
very different.
It's very different.
Wow, this is fantastic. And let's be honest, it's not living in barrels behind us. This is not something that comes from the finishing room. This is a different product. It is Wise Caldwell Distillers.
This was distilled, finished, blended, and bottled in Jalisco and came back over the border like this. So this is true tequila.
And here's the thing that I don't know, and you can't see this on camera per se. The bottle itself is a piece of art. It's etched.
Yeah, Joy did a great job with these.
So Joy Caldwell had a lot to do with this. Everything on this bottle, as I run my fingers across it, this is all etched glass.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. This is something you want on your bar. This is something that when people come over and they go, oh my gosh, I've never had great tequila, or they've had a bad experience with tequila.
Most people have.
Most of us have, right? This is what tequila should be. This is beautifully aged. It is a beautiful expression. It's amazing in the glass.
I think the most important thing to point out is there's no additives. There's obviously no additives. Like if you dip your finger,
what?
It doesn't stick at all. You know there's no additives in
What
there.
are we, what?
So dip,
So I
yeah.
dip my finger.
Slap it on your palm. Vigorous rub. Does it stick together at all?
No.
So you know that there's no additives in that tequila.
Who knew?
It's a simple test, like when you're making white dog bourbon or you're making white dog of any alcohol, when you get that blue flame test going on,
Right.
you know that you're on the heads.
So if I did a little, that help?
You might get chased down the block by girls, but you know.
I mean, you know, viva la extra anejo,
Yeah.
but it's so good.
It's great.
The beauty of something like this is, once again, we've talked about people who don't like certain expressions of certain alcohols, ryes or high proof bourbons or whatever. I think there are people that go, ooh, I had a bad experience with tequila. I don't like tequila. You haven't had the right tequila. You haven't had something that was crafted by incredible ingredients, incredible touch, nice aging. This is really, really good. This is extra, really, really good.
Yeah, I would say too is that, Ramiro spends a lot of time making barrels for wine. That's obviously the bigger piece of his portfolio where he goes and sources the trees, and most of the barrels that he's making are destined for the Napa Valley to make the world's greatest Cabernet or Carmenere or name of varietal, Petit Verdot. Now, what you're dealing with in tequila is something that's very similar to that. So if you're in the Napa Valley and you're plant a vineyard, the earliest that you're gonna get fruit off that you consider usable for finished product is probably 4 years.
Sure.
I would say. But realistically, you're dealing more with like the 6 and 7 year level, which relates exactly to this product. Like when you plant agave, I know that a lot of places pull the agave before that, but a jimadora that really wants the craft to come through, you're dealing with about 7 years of maturing an agave in the ground before you can pull it and make and smoke it and crush it to make tequila out of it. So this is much more of a wine time frame than bourbon is. Bourbon is taken from corn. That year's corn harvest comes in, boom, we are making mash out of that. Then it goes on to the barrels and our waiting period is much longer, right? This is, you plant the plant in the ground, you pull the plant from the ground right around the same time that a vineyard is usable. Then you get all the juice going, you get your distillate, you put that on the barrels, and you're dealing with much more of a wine time frame now. So like 26 months, I mean, most great Cabernets are 18 to 26 months on oak,
Yeah.
right? So you're very much in the same wheelhouse here as a wine industry, which makes it very romantic to me to consider that we ain't gonna make any money off this. But it's all a waiting game in liquor, right? But this resembles much more of the wine timeline than the rest of what we do in this room.
Very romantic.
Yeah, exactly.
Just very romantic.
Yeah.
So listen, Wise Caldwell Distillers, you can find these on there, no problem, wisecaldwelldistillers.com. As a bourbon guy, I appreciate this. I love the fact that I can sip this. It's very different than anything I would ever expect from a tequila.
Especially this one.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding? And this bottle it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's etched, listen, it's an art piece that you should have on your bar. Also limited, be careful.
It's over when it's over.
It's over when it's over. So wisecaldwelldistillers.com. Check out these non-bourbon expressions. These are phenomenal. Add these to your bar. Not everybody comes to your bar as a bourbon lover.
I agree with that.
They're not.
Yeah.
You have to have something for everybody. This is what I have for friends that come to my house. So enjoy. And as always, from the finishing room, Viva la Mexico.
Cheers, brother.
Here we go. Enjoy this. Wow.
That's excellent.
That's fantastic. Enjoy.